I'm pretty sure this is the first video I've ever made with Taylor Swift as the focus for it, and that's because I just don't really have any strong feelings on her or her music. I don't know a whole lot about her, like, in her personal life or anything other than, like, all the breakups and stuff, but that's just not something I tune into super deeply. All I know is she's got some songs in her catalog I like to wiggle my finger to occasionally. Like, I don't dislike her music. I don't hate the songs that she's put out. There are a few boner jams in there. But the reason I'm talking about her today is because she has a new album that just came out, which I didn't even know was around the corner. But something is a bit awry. There's a disturbance out there because for the first time ever, I'm pretty sure, people are saying it's not good. Even her most loyal of fans are criticizing it. A feat I didn't even think was possible. It defies our very fundamental understanding of science. The Swifties vocally expressing disappointment, and not only in the album, but in the way in which Taylor Swift has gone about it. There is a lot of greed at play here that I would have never even imagined as like a money-making strategy. It's so fucking scummy. But Swifties have been well known to support any and everything Taylor Swift does at basically any price point imaginable. You could ask the moon, and they would happily fork over every single doubloon in their piggy bank for it. They would pay $5,000 to be in the same room that Taylor Swift farted in 5 years ago, and they would pay that with a big smile on their face, and go online to rave about the incredible experience being near like a smidgen of ass molecule that Taylor Swift shared the same air as this one room one time. Like, and yet, they are talking about how disappointing this is from Taylor. That's crazy to me. That has to be like an indicator for an impending apocalypse. Like, I bet if you correlate this with the Mayan calendar, we're going to find evidence to the end times right around the corner. It is shocking, to say the least. And since I brought up the end times, I want to tell you that the end of bad hygiene is here, thanks to our soap Cheeky. We've got a new scent available now. It's the Sunday Scaries. It's our vanilla scent, which is a scent that has been requested highly for like the last year, and it's finally here. So you can go to usecheeky.com and get yourself the best soap ever created. So naturally, before getting into like the greedy monetization model for this album, Life of a Showgirl, I'll go ahead and give you my opinion on the album because I decided to take a little listen. I didn't hate it. Like, I'll be honest, I don't know what all the hoopla is about. Like, it seems like just a very normal Taylor Swift album. Admittedly, there's nothing on there that jumped out at me as a classic that's going to be talked about as one of her finest pieces, you know, one of her top tracks or anything. But it wasn't nails on a chalkboard or anything. It didn't feel like it was just lazy throwaway garbage. Like, I didn't feel like I was listening to "You'll Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack" or something. Like, it was just very simple. Not to throw shade at "You'll Cowards Don't Even Smoke Crack," of course, but the point is, it just felt like a really normal Taylor Swift album. It wasn't extraordinary, but I don't think it was nearly as bad as I'm hearing a lot of people say. The only track on here that actually did raise my eyebrow was "Wood," which is a song about Travis Kelce's wiener. It's about a little more than that, but that's kind of like the focus, is Travis Kelce's meat. Kind of lyrics that just make you go, ooh, instead of have you snapping your fingers. Forgive me, it sounds cocky, he amatized me. I actually had to look up what that was. It's apparently dickmatized instead of hypnotized, where you get fucked so good that you get hypnotized, apparently. At least according to fan interpretations of that line. There's a lot of layers to this onion, of course. It's very deep songwriting. And opened my eyes, redwood tree, it ain't hard to see, his love was the key that opened my thighs. Girls, I don't need to catch the bouquet to know a hard rock is on the way. Oh, oh. Like, when I heard that for the first time, it brought out the same feeling as the first time I heard Riley Reid freestyle rap. It was just, it was visceral. These lyrics really do feel like something I myself would write as a joke for one of our songs, The Gentle Men. And who knows, maybe Taylor Swift is a fan of The Gentle Men and was inspired by our songwriting styles. Because, like, I could see myself writing some shit like that for a goofy track. You know, penis appointment, you know I'm on time. He's dunking his balls like MJ in his prime. Like, it really does sound like something I would have cooked up for sillies. But, I don't know, the way, the rest of the song, it kind of plays it pretty straight, like pretty serious. And it's just, I don't know. That, out of all the songs on the album, that's the only one where I was like, oh. But anyway, enough about the album itself. I think it is just like a very normal, generic Taylor Swift album. Do I think it's anything special? No. Do I think it's anything abhorrent and as awful as everyone else seems to think it is? Also no. But I did see a banger tweet that a buddy of mine sent me that I guess kind of sums it up nicely. I said Taylor Swift's new album sucks and I didn't even get a single death threat from a Swiftie. That's how bad it is. For those that don't know, since basically the beginning of Taylor Swift's career, anyone that speaks out saying like, I didn't really like that, they get dogpiled by Swifties with death threats, oftentimes racism. Like, the Swiftie online reputation has been pretty scary for a while, actually. And of course, it's not all Swifties, obviously, but it's enough to be kind of like a common thought, a stereotype for Swifties that has been around for a while, where if you say you don't like something about Taylor Swift or her album, get ready for some of the most colorful insults you'll ever read and a lot of death threats. So now, with the actual album itself out of the way, let's talk about how she monetized it, how she tried to squeeze more money from all of her fans, because it is egregious. I think this is probably why there are so few people coming to her defense here, because this is kind of indefensible. This is an article from a site called Defector that kind of broke it all down and gave like their review of it and talking about the monetization here and how greedy it is. So, upon announcing the album, Swift put up a vinyl for pre-order on her site, and then another, and then another. Before the album was even released, she had promoted and sold on her site 8 exclusive vinyl variants in different colors with different names, and 8 CDs and 1 sweater which comes with a CD. The vinyls cost $34, the CDs cost $20, the sweater CD cost $70, and one of those was a Target exclusive edition. Don't forget Target. The marketing scheme for each of these releases, which came one after another, was scarcity. They will sell out, you will never have another opportunity, hurry, show your love and devotion. And unsurprisingly, it was a very successful business model. She's apparently sold 2.7 million copies of the album in physical and digital. When she announced it on the New Heights podcast, she promised this album wouldn't have any bonus tracks. Historically, Swift has sold her fans the album and then asked them to buy it again to access extra songs. The Life of a Showgirl, she promised, was fully complete, but then on Saturday night, another countdown appeared on her website, and at the end of it, she announced 4 additional CDs of the same album that fans could buy. These versions cost $8 a piece, and each includes 2 exclusive acoustic versions of songs on the album. That means that in addition to the songs on the album, Swift also recorded 8 acoustic versions, but you can only hear them if you purchase each of the 4 CDs. You have to collect this shit like pieces of Exodia here to get the whole experience. It goes on to say she didn't lie technically. There are no new songs on the CDs, just an opportunity for her to make even more money. So the songs aren't new, but they're a different recording of the same song a different way. There's really no way of justifying that. The whole purpose is just to squeeze more money out of the audience because she knows they are going to lap it up 100%. And they are. Like, it is still making tons of money, even though it's not being received overly positive. Another thing they're putting her feet to the fire for is apparently using AI in this new album rollout. So, it's pretty clear that this is big time money making mode here. This isn't really about the artistry of her craft or anything. It does seem like the whole goal here is to try and squeeze as much out of this album as she possibly can. With so many like additions and shit, even cutting corners on to use AI. Like, she has unfathomable wealth. There is just no excuse for not just hiring a real person, a real artist for that. The only reason she'd use AI is to save money, which is pretty crazy considering she's a fucking billionaire. Like, how are you gonna cheap out on this? It's so wacky to me. So it's hard to disagree with people expressing their sentiment that Taylor Swift is just selling out and is looking to just make as much money off this album as she can possibly squeeze without really caring about the art or the community that she's built. Just kind of throwing Swifties into the mud and just treating them like a useful piggy bank she can tap into whenever she wants for delivering very little to them. Like I said, it's hard to disagree with that because why the fuck are there so many versions of this? Why are you using AI? Like, there are just so many things that are clearly just here because it's greedy. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised to see even the most loyal of Swifties calling it out, saying, like, this is unacceptable. This is really disappointing from Taylor. I thought she had reached this point where she was literally infallible in some people's eyes. So it's good to see that there are things people won't stomach when it comes to her greed with this album. I think that's good. So hopefully there'll be a course correction here from her team, like with the way this has been handled. I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to yap about it a little bit because this was pretty shocking to see that her album and her business acumen here being criticized by Swifties. So anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. I had no idea how controversial the Superman movie was. Apparently, a lot of people have had early screenings for this film, so a lot of people have seen it. That doesn't exist here. That's a fairy tale in Tampa. The closest thing you get to an early movie screening in Tampa is if you overdose on NyQuil and imagine it when you fall asleep. So I haven't seen it yet. It doesn't come out till tomorrow here. But reviews are pouring in, and it has led to an absolute battlefield. It is a war zone out there right now. Mangled corpses littering the streets about people that like the movie, dislike the movie, and you'd think that'd be it, but it's not. Then there's also a set of people that haven't seen the movie, won't see the movie, but hate anyone that does see it and likes it. So we're getting all kinds of players here in this Game of Thrones. Now, the one Looney Tunes faction I knew was already playing in this game of chess was the Snyder cult. The Snyder fighters had made it clear from the very first trailer that this would be like their pariah. This was going to be the Antichrist to them because it is James Gunn with this Superman movie instead of Zack Snyder. And for some reason, Zack Snyder has cultivated this fan base that will literally gobble his meat on absolutely everything, even things he is not attached to. It's not like he was considered for a new Superman movie, but they have deluded themselves into thinking that this was a big betrayal of Zack Snyder by giving it to James Gunn, even though the DCU had completely flopped, failed, floundered, and just was a complete fuck-up. They have believed, since the inception of this project, that it needs to fail so that way they can bring back Zack Snyder. I don't know why they think that's going to happen. Even if the movie made $5, I don't think the next course of action would be, okay, we've got to try this again. Let's get Zack Snyder on the horn. Like, that would not be where they'd ever go. That thought process doesn't even make sense. Why would they do the same song and dance that didn't make them a ton of money the first time around? But regardless, the Snyder writers have held on to this belief, and now that the film is here, anyone that is giving a positive review of it, they are labeling a paid shill. I'm not going to just bring up tons and tons of tweets and Reddit posts about it, but I will just show you this one where they believe that the only honest reviews are the ones that don't like the film. Anyone that likes the film is dishonest and purchased by Warner Bros. James Gunn is actually lining all of these critics' pockets. And not just critics, any human being on the planet that likes this film must have been paid for it. This reply actually had me giggling, so I'll show you this one. Your friends in China, like the rest of the world, other than your paid-up shills, are expecting this guy as Superman, not your cheap parody. There is no world where they believe anyone who likes this film just happened to like it. The only way you like it is if you are a brainwashed drone who's been paid for. It's a scary mentality to have. Now, this might be a hot take, but I also think a lot of what gets reported as Snyder cult activity is actually a psyop. I think that this has become such a well-known, like, spittoon for people to make fun of, the huge Snyder enthusiasts that do definitely go off the rails, that they oftentimes get hijacked by people just trying to make them look even worse. So, like, I saw a lot of posts about how Snyder fans were going to make their voices heard by going and protesting at every theater to try and shut down premieres of the Superman film. I don't think that was actually a genuine effort from Snyder fans to do that. I think that was people just making fun of them and trying to get even more shit piled on top of them. I, of course, could be wrong, but in this case, I don't think I am. There is a lot from the Snyder-siders that they do actually do, like in terms of this movie in particular, like how everyone must be a paid shill because they liked it. The only real reviews are the ones that hate it. That kind of thing. We have to make sure this movie fails. That is all stuff they are doing. But when it comes to this like over-the-top shit about how they're going to go, you know, tooth and nail, boots on the ground to the theaters to try and stop this film from even playing, that I just don't think they are actually trying to do. I don't think the Snyder-siders are doing anything like that. Now, as I mentioned when I was covering the Superman drama where James Gunn removed a scene of a villain being evil, I mentioned that I had recently rewatched Man of Steel and liked it far more this time around than I did when it came out. Like, I actually do think Man of Steel is solid, aside from the goofiest death in comic book history with Clark Kent's father and how that goes down, but we don't need to we don't need to fuck that fleshlight for the millionth time. But point is, I ended up liking Man of Steel a lot more this time. But going into Superman, I'm also hoping this movie is good too. I'm not going into the cinema hoping that this shit is poop. I just don't care that much. I hope it's good. If it's bad, is what it is. Like, it's just, I'll be honest about it. I don't really understand, like, I find it very sad how people's whole personality and, like, their mental health seems to rely on this movie not doing well. It's so, like, really upsetting to even see that someone would be in that state of mind. That mentality is just concerning. It's not that big of a deal. If you love Zack Snyder's films, all power to you. But to be this pathetic about it, where anyone who likes it, you hate, and they must be a paid shill, that's rough. But it's not just the Snyder side of things, the Snyder-siders. There is another gladiator in this Coliseum, and it's people that think that you have to like this movie or you're morally wrong for it. They're propping this film up as if, like, you're on the wrong side of history if you don't like it. So, if there's anyone that dislikes it, they are labeling them as, like, bad people. Which is really weird, because it's just a fucking movie that at the end of the day, sole purpose is to make a lot of money. I don't really know why it's at this point now where people champion it as, like, this is the ethical perspective you have to have. You have to appreciate this film, you have to like it, or you are wrong for it. I just find that to be odd as well. So to attach, like, an ethical perspective on it, like, well, I see you didn't like the Superman film. I'm sorry to say, but I just can't respect you anymore. You are clearly a ne'er-do-well and a scoundrel, and to that I say, good day. I want nothing more to do with you for this take. Is so odd to me, because it is just a movie that is there to make $1 billion. Like, that feels like the entire goal of the Superman movie, because so much is hinging on this for the new James Gunn DC universe. Like, I don't think you're a bad person if you dislike the film. I haven't seen it yet, I know, this is brave, but I don't think you're a piece of shit if you end up not liking the Superman film. And an extension of that belief is that anyone that dislikes the Superman film must be a Snyder cult member. Which just isn't true. There's going to be plenty of people that don't like the Superman movie that also didn't like Snyder's version of him either. It's just, I don't understand why this film in particular is so incendiary. It is, like, it blows my mind. And another one that's just popped up here in the Thunderdome is about how woke Superman is. Apparently about, like, immigration or something. I haven't dove too deep into this talking point here, but it's a little new as of me making this video. But that's another one that's popped up, is like, fucking Superman's out here lecturing us on immigration. They've completely ruined Superman. It's all about immigration now because he's an immigrant. It's so fucking woke. It's complete pandemonium here surrounding this film. Now, this is going to be quite the brain buster, but just stick with me for a second. I think, based on all these early reviews from the critics and the audience that's been able to see the early screenings, I think I can say with a high level of confidence, not every single person was paid to like it. I know. Just hold on. Latch onto my bosom for a moment. I think it is an absolutely delusional, almost gang-stalking level perspective to have that anyone that likes this movie had to have been paid to enjoy it. That's ridiculous. The normal fucking family on summer break going to see an early screening of Superman and walking away pleased was not on James Gunn's payroll to enjoy it and maybe say something nice on Twitter about it. People tweet their every thought every second of their day. So if they watched Superman and liked it, they probably just decided to make a tweet immediately upon getting into the car. That's not crazy to imagine. What is crazy to imagine is that anyone that liked it had to have been paid for it or had been, like, mass hypnotized by James Gunn to enjoy it. And that the only truth tellers are the ones that didn't like it. That is an unhinged perspective, that the only, like, true, honest perspective is that the movie sucks. and it's a movie you haven't even seen yet. You've just made up your mind that it has to be bad because you want it to be bad. Now, there is a chance it is bad. I don't know, I haven't seen it. I'll know tomorrow if it is good or bad in my eyes. But anyway, I just wanted to yap about this a little bit, just kind of blabber about how surprised I am to see the major, like, drama around this movie. Like, it's a comic book movie. I wouldn't have expected it would get to a level like this, of, like, this much, like, hate and this much anger and frustration. It is just on a level that I would have never guessed that it would be. That's really about it. See ya.
Hello. I don't really feel like $1,000,000 today, that's for sure. I'm not exactly, feeling all chipper or anything, but I thought that this was important enough to come on in here and talk about. Now, I know most of you know this by now, but I've kind of retired the jersey number when it comes to drama reporting. I don't really talk about drama in general, unless it's like really weird or wacky stuff like, the Secret Service shitter, where that Secret Service agent broke into someone's house to drop a floater. But aside from that, I just don't really make content around that anymore. But I had to make an exception for this story today. Yesterday, I mentioned that I was going down the 40k Warhammer lore rabbit hole, and then I got randomly fed like lemonade stand crimes that bled into the algorithm for some reason, and then I ended up going down that rabbit hole. Well, I also got fed a deep humor drama rabbit hole. Now, I filmed some of this yesterday when I wasn't feeling as dog shitty, and so you're going to see some flip-flop in here where I don't seem that, miserable, and then I'm going to cut in with a jump scare where I do feel miserable. So you're going to be seeing a lot of twists and turns, not only in the story we're covering, but in like the condition of Charles presenting it.
So there is a YouTuber that is also named Deep Humor that is pretty much trying to take my name on Twitter, and they have messaged me and demanded the name Deep Humor. This channel makes videos in Turkish where it seems to be some types of street interviews and scenarios. I think they're supposed to be comedy videos. This was a video that I made 6 years ago in August of 2018. Here's what I had to say in the video.
So I was on Social Blade, marveling at the 5 subs that I get every single month. Then I noticed something.
Basically, this YouTuber named Deep Humor for 6 years has been dealing with a channel that goes by Deep Humor as well, drowning him out in the YouTube algorithm to the point where you can't find his channel unless you go to like a direct link or scroll to like the very bottom, like godforsaken territory on page 2 of YouTube search. So, this is a video he made back in 2018 when he first became aware that there was another Deep Humor YouTube channel that had the same name and even the same logo, a logo that he himself whipped up. So, this has been an ongoing issue that he's dealt with since the very beginning of his channel.
They have the same name and the same logo that I made myself, with little effort, but still.
He goes on to say in that video that he's not particularly bothered, more just surprised that someone would take his name and logo when he only had 78 subscribers at the time. I've got a little fan theory here. I think that the Deep Humor channel that took the logo didn't even know that this YouTuber existed. I think what happened is they just Googled Deep Humor, went to Google Images, and this guy's channel profile pic popped up, and he said, that one. And they just right-clicked Save As, and then used it for his channel. I don't think he ever even found the YouTuber's channel, but that's just my little tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. It doesn't really change anything, because the fact of the matter remains he clearly did take his channel profile pic. And over the course of months, that Deep Humor impersonator channel started to gain steam, thousands of subs and hundreds of thousands of views, which changed his perspective on it because now his channel couldn't be found because it would only go to that channel, once again using his same name and logo. Even though the content was wildly different, Turkish street interviews versus English commentary videos, it is still obvious that they used his logo that he made. He also mentions that Deep Humor isn't the most unique name in the world. That's like the John Smith of YouTube handles. Millions of people could have thought of that. He's 100% right.
Obviously, if you make a YouTube channel called Deep Humor, it's not a big deal because that's quite an ambiguous name. It's not like it's something super unique. It is, a name that somebody else could have thought of.
The issue wasn't really in the name itself, it was the combination of his channel logo being taken with that name. It made it so no one could ever find his channel, because now there's two with the same name, same logo, and YouTube's always going to push the more popular one.
I don't even know what the fuck this guy's uploading anymore. Let's go look at his stupid channel. And
Interestingly enough, that channel did actually end up getting banned for copyright infringement. But just like a Hydra, you cut off one deep humor head, two more take its place.
I don't know if you guys had caught in the Social Blade part of my video, that channel was actually made on June 21st, 2017. And remember that you can change your YouTube channel username, channel art at any time. The reason why I am mentioning that is because all of a sudden after this guy had gotten banned, maybe a month or two afterwards, there was another channel that popped up called Deep Humor. This channel was made in 2016, which is actually even before my channel was made.
He states that a month after Deep Humor Judgment Day, there was a new one that popped up, which was the current one right here. Same content, Turkish street interviews, but now it's called Deep Humor. So he speculates that the name was changed. And I think he's probably right, because when you were searching Deep Humor back in 2018, that channel would have absolutely popped up. Since it was made in 2016 and this channel has been popular for a while, it would have been in the search, but it wasn't. So what likely happened is after that channel got banned, the person behind it went to this channel and changed the name to Deep Humor, but this time didn't use the same logo that had just got their previous account banned. That's what I think happened, and seems to be what the real Deep Humor seems to think as well.
And so in another video where I had talked about this, people were getting on me saying, oh, but this person made their channel before you, so how did they copy you? Well, they copied me because they clearly just changed their YouTube username to Deep Humor, which, like I said, anyone can do at any time. I believe this is the same person that had gotten banned all those years ago, and that same person who had originally taken my YouTube channel icon. Why do I believe this? Because just like that channel so many years ago, this channel also makes Turkish street videos.
This is still just the tip of the iceberg, by the way. This is going to turn into a full reverse flash situation for Deep Humor. Like, this is the reverse Deep Humor. So that kind of sums up the genesis of this Deep Humor war here. And now we get to where things get very spicy and it gets out of control quick.
I don't want your Twitter page. I just want your username in exchange for money. How much can you give? I just said, hello, how much money are you offering? Obviously, if they offered me like $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever, I would probably give them the username because it's real life and I do need that type of money. And I don't really make any money off YouTube, unfortunately, mainly because of this guy.
The battlefield shifts from YouTube to Twitter as Deep Humor receives an interesting DM from this gentleman, saying that he wants to purchase the Deep Humor username for his Twitter page, and he's offering him $50. 50 clams, and he doesn't even have the courtesy to throw in an over-the-pants hand job. And he couldn't even wait more than 6 minutes before just going mask off, revealing that he's the villain. He goes, "What's your answer, buddy?" He's treating this like it's a scene out of fucking Pulp Fiction. What does Deep Humor look like? Does he look like a bitch? Like, it's like, man, you didn't even give him time to process that. He's acting like a virgin who's not getting immediate text back from his love interest, you know? Like, it's been 3 minutes, do you hate me? Is that what's going on here? Like, holy shit, man, it's not like you just made him some kind of life-changing offer here. It's not like you just opened up a briefcase full of money for the Deep Humor channel. You offered him $50 out of nowhere for the Deep Humor Twitter page. And then, only 9 minutes after the "what's your answer, buddy," he gets even more douchey and hostile, saying, "Come on, man, I don't want your page, I just want your username. Look, you don't have any interaction on Twitter, so losing this username won't cause you any loss." What an asshole, and also what a terrible businessman. Yeah, I can't wait to sell you this Deep Humor username now that you've insulted me. I'd love to shake hands on that, you piece of shit. Like, what? I don't, like, I'll never understand people like this. It has not even been, like, half an hour since you've reached out and made an offer. How can you be this impatient and this much of an asshole? I really don't get it. I don't know how anyone can ever expect to have a positive outcome acting like this.
So I just straight up send him a picture of those two channels and I say, "Is this your YouTube channel?" And then he says, "No, man, if only I had this big channel, then I could pay you much more. I only have one YouTube channel and I have 2 subscribers there." And he puts a sad face. He sends me some YouTube channel, and for some reason he even sends me the date the YouTube channel was created. Now, if you look at when they created the YouTube channel, it was created in 2016. This is a channel that he claims is his personal channel that he sent to me. This channel was created in 2016, and remember, he's also a Turkish gentleman. Let's go over to the YouTube channel Deep Humor that I claim is impersonating me, also a Turkish YouTuber, also channel created in 2016.
Something's definitely fishy there. That smell is smelling a little smelly if you ask me. This Turkish guy reaches out about purchasing Deep Humor from him, and then links his YouTube channel, which has 2 subs. Why could he possibly want the Deep Humor username? His YouTube channel has less interaction than the guy he's insulting, and his Twitter page is more dead than Concord. What would be the reason behind him wanting to purchase Deep Humor so badly that he is literally furiously typing at his keyboard the second he doesn't get an immediate response? Doesn't really add up. And it is interesting that his personal YouTube page that he sends the date of its creation of for some reason is the same year as the Deep Humor Turkish Street Interview page. That is quite a coinky-dink.
Why is he demanding the Twitter handle Deep Humor from me? Because he already has everything else. Instagram/Deep Humor, Facebook.com/Deep Humor, and TikTok @Deep Humor. This Twitter handle, Deep Humor, this is all I got over him. This is like that last fucking Infinity Stone in his Infinity Gauntlet that he's trying to get.
And that's pretty much where Chapter 1 closes here on the Deep Humor saga. But it's also what leads to, by far, the biggest catastrophe in this war. This is a tragedy, and it's one that many YouTubers know all too well. The Deep Humor Turkish Street Interview page files a copyright strike on the Deep Humor commentary YouTuber.
Okay, so I'm going to try to keep my composure during this because this is just such BS, but my video talking about me losing my channel potentially just got copyright striked by the Deep Humor that I pretty much proved is copying me. This Deep Humor right over here.
A false copyright strike. The first blood has been drawn here. This is a huge sin online, to file a fraudulent strike on another channel. Deep Humor, the real one, never even used a single second of the other channel's videos, ever. There was nothing that they could even potentially make an argument for as a justification for taking down that video. The sole reason is because it made them look really bad. That is why they did it.
So YouTube messages me and says, hello, we received a copyright takedown request for your video. However, the takedown request is missing some legally required information.
The video actually got reinstated pretty quickly after the takedown because Goober forgot to put in some required information, which is still very alarming that he was even able to successfully take it down when he completely forgot half of the required shit. But that ended up sending Deep Humor the reason for the takedown. So, statement regarding the allegedly infringing work. And this guy said, my work of art. I think it's worth mentioning that this guy's channel is re-uploads of other people's work that he just edits together. He is a compilation channel. He credits some of the original artists, sure, but it's not like he has a work of art. He is taking shit that he sees on Instagram that he goes, haha, he downloads it and then puts it on YouTube. Like, to have the gall, the fucking chutzpah, to defend yourself like this, calling it a work of art, and trying to take down and silence someone who is making a very real case for why you have been a huge headache for them, is just, it's almost comical if it wasn't so sad and pathetic. Now, I know there's probably a lot of people watching this saying, well, why didn't one of them just change their name? And I get that perspective. I'm glad the commentary channel didn't fold here and stuck to their guns, like defending the Deep Humor title, being loyal to it. I don't understand why the Turkish Street Interview channel didn't change their name at some point. The previous one got fucking banned. And it's not like the name Deep Humor even really fits the content that he's posting. He is a compilation of Turkish street interviews. Why wouldn't you have that name also match that content? It doesn't make sense to me. Instead of being Deep Humor 1 and Deep Humor 2, he could have just had a different name. And he also admits to changing his Instagram name, I think it was 7 times. So it's not like he's had Deep Humor since the beginning of the fucking Big Bang or anything. He is open to changing his shit around. Why wouldn't he do that for this? It makes no sense to me. Anyway, though, looking at this further, type of work, copyrighted logo. Where does the content appear? The content is located between 0 seconds and 34 minutes in the target video. Hey, Buster, the video's 15 minutes long. How the fuck could your logo appear in 34 minutes of that? Are you stuck in like the hyperbolic time chamber or something? What are you even watching? Jesus Christ. And now we get to the current day here, the most recent update where Deep Humor 1 left a response in the comment section. So he says that he watched the video after the comments, he's never seen the channel before in his life, he's been using the name on Instagram since the end of 2015, saying that old followers will remember that. He was only making edits on Instagram, had nothing to do with YouTube. There were a ton of channels using that name, uploading his edits, and at that time, due to his financial situation, he sold the Instagram account, paying royalties to all channels that used his videos, and most likely the channel that was shown throughout all this, the one that used the Deep Humor's logo, he's saying most likely that was one of his channels that he had taken down.
Someone else replied and said, you do have a Twitter account, because who else would ask for that handle? That account had a Turkish flag, so you know because he's you. Also about the Instagram stuff, you say you have the username since 2015, but it shows that you have this account since December 2019, and you have changed your username 7 times. Suspicious. He replies and said, I don't need to buy a username because everyone in Turkey already knows me. Definitely gonna win the Humble Person of the Year award right there. Your friend's concept is different from mine, and even our languages aren't the same.
He claims that it wasn't him on Twitter that reached out about buying the Deep Humor name. He thinks it was someone that was reaching out to purchase it from the OG Deep Humor in order to sell it to Deep Humor 1. Fair enough, like, there's no way to prove it's the same person, but that is an interesting plan. To purchase the Deep Humor name for $50 to try and sell it to the Deep Humor Turkish street interview channel. I don't know how popular Deep Humor as a name is in Turkey that there'd be multiple people wanting it so badly.
Okay, here we go. Someone says, if it's just a misunderstanding and you're correct in everything, then why did you try to copy strike his video down? You could have just talked about it. Because in the video, your friend is making false accusations and slandering me. Let me stop you right there. That's not why you copyright striked me, though. You did not copyright strike me for slander or harassment or whatever you're claiming. You copyright strike me because apparently I used your copyrighted logo. So you're giving one reason, and then you're copyright striking me for another reason. For me to do this on this channel because my Turkish audience won't understand anything and it'll only make things more complicated, the copyright strike was just a warning. This sentence is more incriminating than anything that you have ever said. You just said that you gave me a false copyright strike to warn me.
Not exactly the biggest pro-gamer move I've ever seen here, but maybe I just can't wrap my tiny brain around his galaxy brain plan. He openly admits that the strike was a warning. You're admitting to a fraudulent strike, you know that, right? You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. And he's just openly stating it. It's not something to be proud of that you falsely struck someone as some kind of show of power or whatever. He then also makes a subtle threat of potential legal action that he might decide to take. So he's really being a big asshole and openly admitting to something that you're not allowed to do, which is file a fraudulent strike. And he had no ground to stand on, even if he tried to make an argument for it, because his logo being shown once or twice in that video is not an issue at all in the first place. This is him being a petty douchebag. Now, he has made a response, and in the response, he did prove 2 things.
Yüksek ihtimal bu Türk adam aldı YouTube kullanıcı adını. Ben kapattırdım. Ben YouTube'da da yokum ya o zaman. Sadece Instagram'dayım. Ben kapattırır kapattırmaz bu arkadaş gitti kullanıcı adını aldı. Deep Humor'ı. Yani şu anda bana dua etmesi lazım o arkadaşın. Günahını da almak istemiyorum. Ya da kullanacak mıydı? Çünkü bayağı bir popüler Türkiye'de. Ya bana satmaya çalışacaktı ya kendi kullanacaktı.
Ya bir şey söyleyeyim mi? Gerçekten bunlar beyin fukarası bak yemin ederim. Bak o videoda mutlaka izle. Bana atmış ekran görüntüsünü. Demiş ki bu YouTube kanalı senin mi demiş. Ben de demişim ki hayır benim değil. Kendi kanalıma atmış.
The vast majority of the video is him talking about some awful comments and some emails that he's gotten as a result of this, and he blames Deep Humor for it, saying that he leads them and herds them like sheep to harass him, which is just an outright lie. In pretty much every video Deep Humor's made about this, he tells people not to. He doesn't encourage that behavior at all. He shuts that shit down to the best of his ability, but because the story got so big, there's a lot of people who do that kind of garbage. And it's a terrible thing. Like, he's not wrong to be upset about it, but he is incorrect in saying that it is Deep Humor's fault. I'm relying on Google Translate here, so I don't know how accurate this is, but he shows his inbox where he has takedowns filed back in 2018, so presumably one of those channels was the one that started this whole hoopla, which was the channel that took the OG Deep Humor's channel logo. He then also proves that the account that reached out to Deep Humor through Twitter about purchasing the Deep Humor username is not him. He reached out to that same guy and had a conversation with him about it, where the two just kept exchanging insults at Deep Humor, and that dude even sent like 2 voice messages where he was calling him like an idiot, and then making some shit up about how the OG Deep Humor was talking about something being illegal or whatever. So that also confirms a third thing, that Twitter guy is a massive piece of shit. That guy super sucks. He is a turbo asshole. What Deep Humor's response fails to address, even loosely, is the fraudulent copyright strike that he filed. He also deleted his previous comments, so I can't go back through them. At least I don't think I can. I can't find them anymore. So he instead deleted the evidence where he openly admitted that it was fraudulent and a warning, and now in his response never brings that up for some very peculiar reason. That's so weird.
So basically he goes on for a while here, but basically he's saying the guy that I showed that DM'd me on Twitter isn't him. But the reason why I thought it was him is because of all the random coincidences coming together all at once. Coincidence number 1, Turkish Street YouTube channel takes my username and icon on August 2018. Coincidence number 2, on October 2018, that channel impersonating me gets banned, and then all of a sudden you pop out of nowhere less than 3 months later with the name Deep Humor also making Turkish Street content. Coincidence number 3, a random Turkish dude that has taken a weird interest in the name Deep Humor messages me on Twitter demanding the username. Could I have been wrong about all 3 coincidences? Of course, but am I unreasonable for leaning towards that conclusion? I don't think so. I feel like that makes total sense.
I agree, it's not an unreasonable conclusion to draw given all the circumstances, and it's something that could have been solved with the first video and none of the messiness with a fraudulent strike and all of that hoopla. Deep Humor 1 could have easily reached out and explained it to him, or just leave a comment on the video. Deep Humor 1 fucking loves the YouTube comment system. He leaves like 40 of those bitches all the time on all of his videos. He could have absolutely just left a comment on that first video, which he was clearly aware of since he struck it. He could have just left a comment explaining like, hey, you've got this wrong, that's not me on Twitter, that was not me back in 2018 that had your channel icon or anything like that, and then explain it. Like, that would have been super simple and it would have solved this right away.
And then he says, hello, my friend, the copyright was not fake. My logo was legally copyrighted and licensed. We have pretty much already kind of proved that this is false. Not his logo being copyrighted and licensed, but the fact that me making a 15-minute commentary/criticism video where I show his logo every now and then does not constitute as copyright infringement. That is protected under fair use. I've actually even talked to a few lawyers about this now, and they've all confirmed for me that that is fair use. Perfect point right over here. You don't send copyright claims over someone lying about you. That's an abuse of the copyright system. My friend, it seems you're not very knowledgeable about copyright. If I wanted to, I could have sent a notice to his channel for damaging the brand name or even filed a defamation for him, but I didn't.
Basically, he just keeps saying he could have done a lot worse but chose not to. Instead, he played it soft with just a copyright strike. One that he could not possibly enforce at all. Showing his fucking channel logo for a couple of seconds in the video is not grounds for a copyright strike. If the whole thing was about him being wrong in his assumption that you were the one reaching about the username, that is something that you could have solved with a single fucking comment about it instead of a strike. You can't weaponize frivolous strikes like this. I don't know why he can't understand that. And I think he does, which is why he didn't mention it at all in his video to his audience. Instead, he goes to the comment section where a lot less people are going to see how big of an asshole he is. It is so interesting that he can't wrap his head around him being the cause for this being such a big deal. His decision to strike this channel has led to it being this massive drama as opposed to what it started as, which was just like this weird, wacky story. Anyway, though, that's where the Deep Humor saga concludes for now. That's really about it. See ya. The time's here. Haunting Adeline, cat and mouse duet. I got Matt doing his homework on it as well. We're about halfway through. He's cheating using the audiobook, so he's
getting some very sultry tones.
I think it's worse for me.
Yeah, it probably is. But I've been reading it the old-fashioned way, old natural, the way the Lord intended, the way Book Talk preaches.
31-year-old man reads books the old-fashioned way.
Goddamn right. It is revolting. You said it best. If a man wrote that book, he would be in jail.
I would push for him to be in prison. He would deserve it.
It is unbelievable. So, before diving into the spaghetti and the meatballs, I think the most important thing to mention, this book flips between the victim and the stalker.
The manipulator
And the shadow. Yep. The shadow is...
Wait, real fast. Is this spoiler free or no?
No.
All right, spoilers out the wazoo. We're just going to talk about the whole fucking book. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, up until where we are right now, which is 250-ish pages in. The stalker is an elite hacker and pedophile hunter / human trafficker dismantler.
Yep.
And I even highlighted this. One of his core character traits that he openly expresses numerous times is how he wants to end human trafficking and the suffering of children and women at the hands of monsters. But he is also himself a rapist.
Well, that's what you're missing, is the beautiful juxtaposition that she's showing, the duality of man.
Yeah.
So, to go even further back, there's a woman, Adeline, that he's stalking and, like Charlie said, raping.
Yeah.
Like, he's just sexually assaulting her throughout the book.
Yep, numerous times.
And the book flips between their two perspectives. His are like Mission Impossible, like fucking MacGuber mission. They're the worst. Like, always talking about he's the best hacker in the world. There's 12 guys up against him. It's not going to be a fair fight for the 12 guys. Like, that kind of bullshit. And it doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't, but here, I found where I highlighted. In Chapter 12, the Shadow says, "This is where I make a difference in the world, where I find women and children who need saving while also witnessing the torture those sick individuals put them through." So he views the torture of women and children as sickening. There's numerous mentions about how he can't sleep, and he sees the world as so depraved because of what people are doing to women and children, and he is literally doing the same things to a woman.
Yeah. And I really... That is part of the book because I'm on the audiobook and I have to listen to it on increased speed so I can get through it. I'm a little further, and there's just a few other parts, like, even more so, where they kind of really... They do the goofy movie scrunching of the map, where there's kind of this jump where, like, throughout a lot of it, she is like, fuck this guy. Like, this is my stalker. This is my sexual assaulter. And then it's just kind of like, okay, like, she's still mad, but, like, he's kind of cool, I guess.
So that's where I'm at right now. They portray him as a positive raper.
Yeah.
Like they talk about, well, the author mentions like how striking he is and like how all of like the sexual assault is like so like enrapturing to her. I don't even know if that's a word. Like it inebriates in her. I'm using nonsense words
because she does too.
Exactly. Like it's unbelievable that she is portraying a raper as like a sympathetic character and like hot.
The way she also really tries to almost like spin this web that it's the author never comes out and is like, this is good that he's done this, but it's almost painted that he's being nice because he has yet to do anything to her at one point. Like, all of the pleasure is given to Adeline. Given to in big fat quotes because it's sexual assault.
Yeah, so I think an important thing to mention is, like, I know rape fantasy books are something kind of popular, I guess.
Like dark erotica.
This is super different, though, because she is constantly sobbing. Like, as he is assaulting her, she is crying, she is in pain, she is numerous mentions of how desperately she wants him to leave. And then when it's all said and done, she's like, yeah, you know, it's like kind of okay.
Right.
She is like... I got to the most recent one.
Oh god.
Which
one was it?
He fucked her with the gun.
Yeah, that one. I read that in the reviews before we started the book. I didn't want to spoil it for you. Yeah. And I got to that and I was like, who even put this on paper?
Yeah.
Like, why?
So this here, I actually highlighted a lot from the scene here. There's a lot here. So his big thing is he's punishing her because she was with another man at one point, whom he of course murdered.
And cut his hands off and mailed them to her.
That's right, and sent her his severed hands. So now he's fully confronting her after so long of stalking and torturing her, like psychologically breaking into her house numerous times. As much as I hate to say this to you, I'm no stranger to a woman's pussy and what it feels like when it weeps for me. Yeah, that's the writing style here of Haunting Adeline. I curl my lip in disgust. Last time I checked, most girls weep because they're upset. Take a hint. Little mouse, that's exactly what I'm doing. And then he forcefully undresses her. And then, as he's like moving her thong to the side, he points a gun at my face. I recoil, pinching my eyes shut, letting loose a startled yelp. Relax. I just want you to suck on it. So he puts the gun in her mouth.
I hate it.
It's so bad. He puts the gun in her mouth and says, "Suck," he orders, his tone deepening with finality. Closing my eyes against more tears, I open my mouth and let him guide the gun between my teeth. "Such a good girl," he says, pulling the dripping gun out, a trail of saliva following until it snaps. And then it continues with that. And then he circles my entrance with the tip of the gun, the metal slipping against my skin. Oh God, please don't. This time my words are cut off from him dipping the gun past my folds. Just the tip, but enough to close my throat, only allowing a startled squeak to escape. He laughs cruelly. "You even sound like a mouse." And now skipping ahead here.
This reminds me, by the way, of like when we were in high school and you had to go around the class and read the book out loud.
Oh no, I know.
Very similar.
Same kind of books. "I can feel how tight your pussy is. The way it grips onto my gun when I slide it out. So fucking pretty." And then he goes on, violating her, assaulting her with a gun in her vagina.
And she tears up and cries.
She
during it.
cries,
And
yep.
like, there are parts where you get a peek into her thoughts, where she's like, "Why am I enjoying some of this?" And it's like, that is, I'm not going to say that's okay, like I'm glad it's in the book. That part of her character I understand. The part I don't is the way he is written in, like you said, we don't need to be like, "Oh, there's a glimpse of moonlight and I see how fucking striking his jaw is and damn, his chest just emanates masculinity." And you're like, what?
Yeah, it's excessive. So this scene of him raping her with the gun goes on for a while. I look up through half-lidded eyes, still jerking from little shocks when he lifts the gun and swallows the barrel. It feels like an out-of-body experience as I watch him lick the weapon clean and put it back in his jeans. My body is full of rage, humiliation, and shame.
Yeah, so...
And then she talks about how positive it is.
Somebody brought this scene up to me the other day, and I guess there's a debate, which I'm going to end the debate right here for you. The debate is, they were like, "Oh, did you get to," and I said the gun rape scene, and they were like, "Well, people debate whether or not it's rape because she enjoyed it." And I was like, no.
Oh my god!
There was zero consent.
Oh my god!
That should not be debated. Even if the female character, if Adeline was like, "That's the best thing I've ever felt in my life," rape. It is still rape.
There's even a strict mention, I don't know if I highlighted it, like, where she says, I've never been so debased. My consent meant nothing to him at all.
Yep.
Like, she mentions multiple times how she does not consent to any of it at all. Doesn't want any of it at all.
I really don't, like...
Oh, that's... Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the person I was talking to was not arguing that it wasn't. They were just saying there is debating going on about it. And I was like, no, there's zero consent in this portion of the book, or any portion of the book.
So far, yeah.
And this is the thing about the book, where, like, we're just doing full spoilers. It starts with he's literally breaking into the house and leaving roses around the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is torturing this woman mentally and then physically. And the part I'm at is she now finds out, like, this may be a spoiler for you, I don't know how far you read. She finds out what he does. like for a living.
I haven't got to that yet.
And there's the way it's written, and she's like, oh my god, like my heart flutters. Like this man, he's so good in the world. And I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. I don't know. I understand. I'm not kink shaming. I'm shaming this book. If you like dark fantasy, dark romance, all of that, that's one thing. But a lot of the comments I saw were like, hey, if this is your first foray into dark romance, do not let this mar the genre for you, because that's not what it is.
I haven't read dark romance,
I
full
haven't
disclosure. I'm not
ever.
I'm not fully familiar with it, but this doesn't feel like dark romance. You said it best. She writes this guy like an incel would. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
is legitimately a depraved individual that somehow, through I guess tons and tons of like sexual assault and conditioning,
Yep.
makes her love him is
Yeah, like
the direction
you know
it seems
this
to
is
be
gonna
going.
end with her loving him.
That's
There's
how
no
it
way
feels.
doesn't.
That's exactly how it feels. And they set up this thing. I guess we're so deep already, but like the story is about Adeline. She is a writer, and she does a book signing where this guy, who is a hacker, fighter, combatant, action movie star, alien, monster man, whatever, he happens to stumble across the book signing and immediately falls in love, becomes obsessed, and decides right then and there he will stalk and force her to love him by
Within
any
2
means
pages.
necessary. Yeah,
Like-
by any means necessary. He explicitly says, "I will force her to love me," and force myself upon her. He even says multiple times that he's considered kidnapping her.
Yep.
So it's like it happens instantly. That doesn't feel like dark romance. There's nothing romantic about it. He is legitimately a psychopath. So
Yeah.
to give you an idea of some of like the action writing, I highlighted a lot. His first, it's chapter 2 where you get to experience the shadow. His name is Z. So you can see the level of thought put into this.
Well,
It's
the crazy thing is, his name is Z, and his organization's name, Z.
Yep.
Like, his hacking group is Z, and he's Z.
So here's his first mission that we get to learn about in chapter 2. So right now he's breaking into like a child sex trafficking ring to kill all the people. I'd already cut off one of his ears, along with ripping off 10 of his fingernails, severed both Achilles' heels, a couple of stab wounds in specific locations that won't allow the fucker to bleed out too quickly, and too many broken bones to count. Dickhead won't be getting up and walking out of here, that's for damn sure. Less crying, more talking, I bark, scraping the tip of the knife against his still closed eyelids. And like that's how she writes all of the action. And then, did I highlight the one where he's like, there was only 10 guys. They must have really thought I was weak.
Yeah, so when you first told me that, you were telling me and Danny about that scene, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, you're exaggerating, because you were telling us about how, like, his fucking aunt or something works.
Oh yeah,
Which
that comes up.
never comes up again. He's just like, my aunt, who I taught to be an elite hacker, never brought her up again. But
Yeah.
he's like telling her to make sure the kids don't, or the girls don't step in the blood of the 12 guys he just murdered. I really thought you were exaggerating. But he just, like...
It's literal.
It's like... He yells at her about... He's like, it's more than just a few drops on her foot. Like, if you do it, like, he threatens her. It's like the weirdest, most
It is.
incel shit of what an incel would think is cool.
It's so fucking bad. I spare it a single glance before moving on. I don't care about fiction books. I only read the ones that are going to teach me something particularly about computer science and hacking. By now, there's nothing those books can teach me anymore. I've mastered, then surpassed it. This is when he goes to like Adeline's book sign. He's like, why am I even here? I don't even fucking
Yep.
read books. I know every book that's ever been written now.
He always refers to her, too. I think he does it in this scene, as her voice sounds like it was made for porn.
Yep. Fuck, her voice is pure smoke, the kind you only hear in porn videos.
There you go. It's the most incel shit. I cannot believe, once again, that it was written by a woman
Yeah.
because of how the man is written.
It is very surprising, yeah.
It's the weirdest. You said this yesterday, where, like, I'll go on a different tangent about the writing in a minute, but you said yesterday where you can kind of see the author's thought process where she gets stuck in these thoughts. Like, there's one chapter where Z mentions his Mustang 6 times. He's like, and I'm going back to my Mustang, which is like, and he's over and over, Mustang, Mustang, Mustang. I have not heard it once since that chapter. Never referred to his Mustang since that one chapter. It's like these little pitfalls of writing where she can't get off of this thought and then forgets it forever.
Nice.
It's so strange.
That's cool.
This is really weird, but I was actually talking to my dad about this book.
Nice.
Because he brought up he gets ads for the ACOTAR series all the time. And I was just saying, like, this book's writing is, if you and I were sat down, I'd say sophomore year in high school, and our teacher was like, write something really good, and we're like, we've got to show we know how to write. That's what this feels like, where you're like, similes, metaphors, look at this
But
deep thought. Yeah.
counterpoint, none of it's deep. It's
It
like
isn't.
it's all very surface level.
Yes.
So like it feels like it's so juvenile with like its similes and metaphors,
Yep.
and it doesn't really use them for anything other than like, man. And I thought to myself, this sucks harder than me on a nice pair of boobies, and man, do I fucking suckle those titties.
It really, especially the shadow. That is almost
Yeah,
one-to-one
that is
how
literally
he-
like how he is written.
Yep. I told you the line yesterday that made me want to die. Where he is having his way with Adeline, and he finally reveals his name to her, his full name. I won't spoil that. I'll let you guys get to that one.
Yeah.
And he says, from now on, because she likes to mess with him and call him Kitty Cat, because he calls her
Yeah.
Little
Oh,
Mouse. Also hurts my heart.
I got to that too. Oh.
Yeah, and he says, from now on, this is the only name you'll utter when referring to me. Unless my cock is in you, you'll call me God. And I told Charlie I'm on the audiobook, so it's a deep-ass voice reading this to me. I'm lifting in my garage, and I literally just went, yeah, like, gross. I can't believe somebody had that thought. And, like, I think a lot of smut in erotica is always going to come off cringy.
Yeah, it
Because
definitely.
you've got to write words like cock and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, that one just, even now I'm, like, squirming.
Another thing I want to mention in regards to her writing being so like almost embarrassingly simple. So another action scene with him. So he's infiltrating another group looking to save their prisoners. Their mistake was relying on their limited eyesight for intruders. My ability to hide in the shadows is what ultimately got them killed. Should have had night vision goggles like me. Maybe then I would have had a bit of entertainment. I lick my lips. Be careful, Z, says my right-hand man, Jay. His hacking skills are nearly as good as
My
mine.
favorite line.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I taught him everything.
Yeah, and only because I was his teacher.
Says that shit about Jay 4 times.
Yeah, actually, he does say that so many fucking times. The action sequences, I cannot believe, are even in this book. Like, this should have just been cut.
They're not necessary.
It is so fucking stupid. I couldn't be both a hacker and a mercenary, and what I really enjoy doing is being the one to put the bullet in their heads myself. So I created my org Z from the ground up, recruiting a team of hackers to help the mercenaries with their job, get into the rings, kill them all, and get the victims out safely. I station my mercenaries in high-rate trafficking areas and assign them their own team of hackers. Now Z has become so big that there are teams in every state and several outside of the country as well. So he's got the ultimate, and it's like Kiefer Sutherland in 24, like the CTU, but for hackers and,
Yes.
and mercenaries.
And he talks about at one point, because does he say there how many years ago he started Z?
He doesn't say here, but it's 5 years ago.
5 years. Because when he says that, that is when he started spending time learning to hack. And he's now the best in the world.
Not only that, he is not only the best in the world, he is an extraordinarily, unfathomably wealthy man.
Yes.
Because every company in the world has been hiring him to hack their competitors.
Because he uses that money to fund
Yep.
Z. And he's always like, I've got this illegal fucking ray tracing GPS technology that cost 2.8 million that I, shouldn't have, but I stole from the government or something like that. Over and over, he's talking about his safe room in his house or whatever, and how it's worth $7 million. Like, it's that incel shit. So, like, oh, it's so crazy.
God, reading these action scenes. It's not hard, though. These assholes bring out the worst in me. Overrode the cameras. You have 1 hour before the system resets and I'm kicked out. I only need 10 minutes.
Oh, and like, I also want to clarify when I'm shitting on the writing, I am not saying we could write better, but I'm
saying we could write better.
Actually, we could
I'm
absolutely
saying
write
we
better.
could write
One of the
better.
really low-hanging fruit points I was making, let me see it real quick,
Yeah.
because I think it was in like the first couple pages. It's when she's looking at the house.
About the shadows crawling up the walls.
Yeah, she just
and everything is crawling.
Oh, I swear it's right here. Yeah, she uses the same, I think, simile like 3 times in a row about things crawling up the walls, and it's like within 6 sentences. And it was within the first few pages. And I was just like, oh, God. I'm like, that's what we're in for.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I can't find it. But
She does that a lot. There's
I'm
probably plenty of
flipping
examples.
between this book and The Way of Kings, the Brandon Sanderson novel from the Stormlight Archive, which is now touted as like one of the best fantasy series ever written in history. And the juxtaposition between those two books is unreal. He tells a better story in his prologue than the 400 pages I've read of this. It's crazy what good writing can do.
Yeah. Well, but then you have incredible stuff like this. Right as I ready up again, one guy comes barreling around the corner. He's dead before he even spots me. Nice little hole between his brows. He was an ugly motherfucker anyway. World would do just fine without him. Before his body can topple over, I grip him by the collar of his shirt and bring him in close, wincing at the bad breath emanating from the rotting hole in his face. I step out of the hallway, using the dead man as a shield against the flying bullets still hurtling my way. The dead body takes a few hits while I fire off 2 single shots. 2 more bodies go down, and I step back inside the hallway, pushing away the bloodied man who's now riddled with bullets.
And he explains, I remember this, and I'm like, this is so weird, because I don't know if this is true or not, and if it's not, I'm like, should just put the weirdest bit in here of, he talks about bullets go through bodies, so he doesn't like to use bodies as shields much.
That's right here.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is that true?
I don't use other people for shields unless I have to, and it's only for a few seconds. A chorus of noises arise in the warehouse in the form of terrified screams from the girls, shouts of panic from the men, orders to kill the puta.
Oh, this one, I meant to tell you, it gets a little dicey in the audiobook because they put voices on.
Oh.
I didn't hear it right the first time, so I rewinded, and he very clearly, when he says like puta or gringo, he does like your stereotypical accent, and I was like,
no.
Is that okay?
Yeah, because there's a few mentions of here like where it does that, where it flips to like what he's hearing.
Yep.
Oh man, that's
that's
good.
fair. What the guy is reading is supposed to be the character. Yeah, that's fair.
I bet that's still fucking weird.
Do you want to? Should I show them what the voices sound like?
Yeah, pull up the voices. I'm gonna find some more incredible stuff.
Let's see.
Here, I'll go ahead and give you the end of the action sequence. The bullet rips through their brains in such quick succession that their bodies drop at the same time. He basically, to cue you in, he basically Red Dead Redemption, or Red Dead 2 like dead eyes on him. So he just drops all of them like a fucking McCree alt. And then he says, "You see that?" I ask aloud, already knowing Jay is watching through the cameras. "Fuck. It only took you 8 minutes." Jay groans through his earpiece. $500, fucker, is my smug answer. A string of curses leave his mouth, but I tune him out. It's so... Oh, and here, this is what I was talking about that you didn't believe me.
Yep.
Jay, have Ruby make a pathway for these girls. Ruby is one member of the crew who comes in explicitly assigned to handle the survivors and get them to safety. She's a redhead spitfire, but turns to mush when she's around any women or children we save. A pathway? Yeah, I don't want a drop of blood on their toes. But
one of them gets blood on their toes.
He's pissed.
And he fucking has a conniption.
Pissed.
And then also, I love at the very end here, after he saves all these girls, talks about their trauma and how much it means to him to, like, get them as much help as possible. He then ends all of this after this mission saying, "My hunt isn't over yet. I have to play with my little mouse now." So he literally goes from saving all of these girls to then stalking and torturing a woman of his own.
That jump happens all the, and like, I think a lot of people, if they're defending this book, I don't know why you do, but if you're defending this book, I think a lot of people will be like, that's the point. And my point is it's shit. Like, I think people are like, oh, they're showing the juxtaposition, between his good side and dark side. And I'm like, no, it's just terribly hypocritical.
It is. Like, it's not showing like a dichotomy. It's showing that this guy is truly unhinged and is raping a woman until she becomes like okay with it.
Yeah, and it's like at one point he tells her, did you get to this where he's like, oh, you want me to lie to you and take you on dates?
Oh, I just got to that section.
And like his whole point is that he's actually being a good guy by showing her his true side, and she even starts to be like, yeah, would I like him if he, wooed me and took me on dates? And I'm just like, what? Like, he's sexually assaulting you and breaking into your house. Like, stop.
Jesus.
Here, I'll play the voices. I don't know what this is in, but
luckily it's something that allows me, my employees, and
here, wait, let me rewind out of that.
What do you even do for a living?
Oh, I don't want to spoil stuff.
Car's black.
No, it's fine.
That was on my terms, not his. Sniffing, I wipe my mouth and thank God that I wore the lipstick that will take a bucket of oil to even smudge. I stand and wipe the underside of my eyes, clearing them of mascara and eyeliner while he tucks himself back in and slides his belt back around his waist.
It's so
And then I
sensual.
straighten out my dress, slip the rose grin on his face, slams shut, and the smell of Zaid envelops me. Laptop
I just gave his
charged.
name away.
The sexual like with for a living. He explained, lighting his work.
Sorry.
I say
sacrifice of some sort. Someone recorded and leaked a video of it happening, and another one just...
His is so like deep and sultry that it makes me really uncomfortable.
That guy probably does anime voice acting.
He does this in Goku. He's got right.
Well, he sounds like Light Yagami or something about the monologue. Everything the few ones you've shown me from his voice sound like that.
Yep.
Also, just another example of like the level of writing. She's at a club and meets a guy, and your name? I'm Archibald Talvara III. He becomes a pretty core character because Z has been spying on her. Even in this club, he's taken control of the cameras. He's hacked into the cameras at the club, gets upset, so he sends her a text message, sneaking off with a random man, little mouse. If I catch his hands anywhere near you, they'll end up in your mailbox by morning, which they did. But it turns out, he didn't just murder an innocent guy. Archibald Talvara is a crime guy.
Of course.
He's
It
a
was
big
good
crime
for the
guy.
role.
It was a good thing.
Kills his whole family too.
And killed his entire family because he, in his words, encroached on his girl, his property. And, he didn't like that.
The other character who is really starting to piss me off, in the beginning she seemed okay, is Daya.
Yeah.
Which is Adeline's best friend. Part of Z, she's an elite hacker only for Z. It all connects.
Every character in this fucking book is an elite hacker.
Everyone.
Literally, there is not a character that hasn't been
They're
introduced.
either an elite hacker or a pedophile. That is it. That is
It's
all who
true.
exists. And Daya in the beginning is like, yo, you're fucking crazy. You need to get out of that house. You need to come stay with me. And like seems like
Level-headed,
the right-
yeah.
And then slowly is kind of like, did you have sex with him? Like, girl? And I'm like, dude. She's telling you she was sexually assaulted, and you're like, what?
That's fucking. But like, what did he look like though?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what was he like? Was he good looking?
And it's like, it really made me mad because I thought that was the one character who was level-headed.
Yeah, there is no level. The only character that is even almost sane is the fucking police officer who she happens to know, who has played no role in this book so far, by the way. But like after it's clear like he hacked the police to get rid of the records of the stalker, she tells one of the police officers who she like knows really well. He's like, "Oh yeah, this sounds like really serious. I'm gonna be like, very vigilant about this now that I know you have a stalker. He was the only one that's somewhat sane.
And then you never see him again.
He has not come back since.
Wait, I'm starting to realize the beginning of the book opens with her talking to her mom. I've not heard about her mom once since.
That's true, yeah.
It's same with the aunt. His aunt shows up, doesn't come back. Like, that's that, like, random... I had this thought, bloop, it's gone.
We still have half a book
That's
left,
true.
so it's possible they make, like, the Avengers assemble with his aunt.
He was his mom the whole time.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think is going to happen. So one thing we haven't mentioned is they have this side plot line going on where she's exploring this house. It's her Nana's house.
Yep.
And her Nana's mother, her grandmother, was murdered there by a stalker that she fell in love with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's supposed to show, like, a parallel where Adeline has a relative that had a stalker, much like hers, that eventually led to her death. And she's assuming the stalkers who killed her, but she doesn't know for sure, so she's piecing together that mystery as well. What I think is going to be the case is Z is somehow related to that in some way.
Yeah. It's like his great-grandfather.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of something. Speaking of things coming in and disappearing. There are ghosts.
Oh yeah, and there's ghosts.
But not for long. There's a couple chapters.
Yeah,
like
there's a
it
couple
starts
ghosts.
by being like she'll walk through the house and can see her breath. And then Z breaks into the house, can see his breath in a certain spot. They both spot an actual apparition.
A real ghost. Yeah, it's not like metaphorical ghosts
Right,
in the
they
house.
see it.
A real ghost. The one that she saw most recently was she believes to be her grandmother Gigi, who led her to the attic, which led her to like this note
notes, yeah.
that was ripped out of her diary. Which, oh my god, I highlighted this because it's so fucking cliche and tropey. Like, whoever edits this book really needs to,
I
like...
don't know how this passed editing.
Yeah. It's just... It's so shockingly bad. Because, like, this is something you'd see out of, like, Hey Arnold as, like, a throwaway thing.
This is the one that cuts off.
Yep, the note that cuts off. Where is it? I think it was the previous chapter.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of, like, I want to devour you and shit that I've highlighted here because it made me feel gross.
Cringe. You
Yeah.
did make me realize, though, we haven't heard about the ghosts in a while.
Yeah.
Like, that seemed like it was appearing in every chapter. Like, I thought maybe the ghosts would fight Z or something, and then they just didn't come back.
God, where is it?
I like this in the book, though, that they put actual notes at the end. That's cute.
It is cute. They do this thing at the end of the chapters where they put these notes from Gigi. Jesus Christ. Where is this section? It's crazy how things get lost. Like shadows crawling up the wall. Where it wasn't that long ago. Anyway, she finds a note and it literally does the classic, if I die, here's who did it. His name is...
It cuts off and was ripped out of the journal.
Yeah, and I hate that the writer thinks that she's doing a wink, wink, nod, nod, because the line that followed was, "Are you kidding me, Mima? Come on, Gigi, really? What is this, some kind of horror book?" I hate that shit so much.
do too.
Like, you call out the trope while actively using it as a crucial component of your plot. Like, please, God. Oh, here. Found it. I have to be quick. He said he's on his way and I'm terrified. If I run, he'll catch me, so I'm writing this note down in hopes someone will find it. If something happens to me, John, the note ends there, not even finishing the last word. My mouth drops open in shock as I stare down at it in utter disbelief. Are you fucking kidding me, Gigi? You leave it off there? That's what you wanted to show me? And a note where you're about to say, who, but don't? I finish my rant out loud. Oh, and another thing I hate about this fucking book, multiple times where she's making a bad decision, the writer calls out how stupid she is for it, and it's like, oh dear God.
God. Yes.
Hey, God. When you, like, reincarnate me next time, can you, like, make me not so stupid? And she puts this in the book.
Yep.
It's like, God, why did you make me this way? God, I'm making another bad decision and you're making me do it.
That was like 4 chapters in a row. She said it over and over and over. There's so many things
so
that
annoying.
happen so many times. Like, almost like, oh, haha, quirky. Like, she's always reaching over and stealing Daya's drink to drink it in like 6 chapters in a row. Like, there's just little things where I'm like, we get it. Like, we've heard this.
Ugh.
But yeah, that one really started to drive me nuts. But once again, hasn't happened in the last 8 chapters. So.
Oh, I mean, it's just little lines here and there.
Yeah.
It happens so much.
Oh yeah, there's
God,
so
why
many.
did you make me this way?
Oh.
Can you make me this way next time, please?
And I am totally okay. I want to get this out in the open. You can think God or the gods or whatever the hell you want. Female, male, little bunnies, I do not care. But it is such a big point in those moments where she's talking to God, where she has to be like, the female God. And I'm like, you can just say God, I don't care.
That's true. And almost all of the... I wish I had wrote down or underlined one of the examples. It always goes like, God, why did you make me this way? I'm making a bad decision again. You made me really stupid. And it's like, there's God again. She's playing her tricks on my making.
Which is,
like, you're right, every
is
time.
made in like a feminist point, which is the thing I hate, because I'm like, your book is about a woman having all power taken from her and being sexually assaulted while making this feminist point, which, once again, maybe it's a fucking great writing trope that's going over my head.
It doesn't feel like it's some kind of empowering spin on it. It is numerous times explaining how weak, debased, dehumanized she feels and how much she hates it, and she's crying during it. But then at the very end of all of this, she's like, and I know, Lord help me, can't help but love it.
Yep.
And it's like, come on, like that's ridiculous.
Exactly. It's really bad.
Yep, can't wait to finish it.
Honestly, though, when we've talked about it, we just shit on it. How long is this video right now?
36 minutes.
36, and I could keep going.
Yeah,
that's the thing where
there's a lot.
Legitimately, I am excited to keep reading because it's bad. Like it
is bad.
It's like a train wreck where you can't look away, and I just want more.
Oh, it has 804,000 reviews.
Holy
actually, almost
shit.
1 million.
This can be a kink for people and a fantasy for people. I just absolutely hate how it is portrayed in this book. Like, I've not read 50 Shades of Grey. I've also heard that book is terribly written.
Yeah.
But isn't the whole thing in that, like, it's consensual non-consent?
Yeah, like, I've seen the movies. In the movies, she is, like, wanting to do it.
Right.
But it, like, simulates, like, you know... Like, there's an understanding between them where she has, like, a safe word.
Yeah.
She can stop it. Adeline can't.
She has
no
sexual assault.
Yeah, it is purely sexual assault. It's not, like, it is... I feel like it is so different from, like, that actual kink.
Yeah.
Alright, so after reading the reviews, I've come to the conclusion maybe this is just not a book written for us.
We may just be wrong.
Maybe there are tons of people who love the sexual assault and the depravity of it. Some people said it wasn't enough. Which is...
So, alright.
I don't get it.
I'm going to try to play devil's advocate to us for a second. If you're into this, reading it is a very safe way to experience your kink, I guess.
I suppose?
I don't understand how 800,000 reviews means millions upon millions of copies sold.
Right.
I can't imagine so many people have a straight-up non-consensual rape kink.
Well, with a complete stranger.
Yeah.
Not only a stranger, a stalker who is literally torturing and ruining your life.
Yeah. Maybe we're wrong.
Maybe.
You should cut this part of the video and put it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Of maybe this book just isn't for us.
maybe that's the takeaway, I guess.
So if you really if this is at the beginning now and you really like this book, maybe don't watch more because it's about to get shit on. The one thing I will say is, regardless of the content, the writing is
it's terrible.
It's so
truly horribly written book.
Juvenile is a great word for it.
Yeah.
It's written like a high school English paper. It's bad.
Yeah.
Who just learned what similes are. Alright, well maybe we're just wrong.
I guess there is just that chance. I had a point I was going to make, but I've lost it. I gotta find it.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's like a shadow crawling in my brain.
The shadows in your brain?
Yeah, the shadows are in there. Oh, I remember. Yes. Do you think the reaction to this book would be the same if it was a man that wrote it?
I absolutely do not.
See, that's where I'm at. I think the reason this book has so many 5 stars is because a woman wrote it. But if you just change the author from a woman to a man, I think it is unanimously spit upon by the same community that loves it. That's my hot take.
Personally agree.
Because it is degrading. It is legitimately degrading, and they make it explicitly clear how miserable she is with this experience until she just
Yeah.
loves it. I feel like if a man wrote that, most of these readers would find it to be like insulting.
Like revolting.
Yeah, they would find it to be written by like a chauvinistic pig.
Yeah, because that's how it reads.
It is exactly how it reads.
I truly think it would change everything. What are the chances? There's pictures of the author online and stuff. What are the chances it's a big facade and it's a male author using a pen name and a paid actress?
You might be blowing this wide open.
Ooh.
Shit.
Because I truly think the most shocking thing is that a woman wrote that male character.
It is pretty baffling.
That is the most incel basement dweller idealistic idea of a go macho man, like down to the he smells like leather and cigarettes kind of thing. It's like
yeah, I forgot about the leather.
fucking Marlboro Camel. That was Camel's camel. He's the camel from the smoke ads going around doing depraved things.
Yeah. I think this book would not be as popular if it was a man that wrote it.
I agree completely.
All right, well, tune in next time when we finish this book.
Yeah, and I think for the next one we finish this book. That's the next video. After that, I think we do ACOTAR.
Yeah, I'm down for ACOTAR.
I think it'll be... I've heard people say the writing is still a little juvenile, but the story is much better. So, we'll see.
Okay, that sounds good.
Don't read this, bye.
I would... As far as our good reads go, not a good read.
Yeah, bad read.
Not a good read.
Bad read.
Would not recommend.
Yesterday I found myself in the center of the stupidest controversy I've ever been involved in. And that's saying something. That's an achievement. Because 5 years ago, I had beef with the old school RuneScape team because I got banned for botting when I posted a video about how I made the world's worst auto-clicking machine. If you can even call this a machine. I Frankensteined together this absolute abomination with a children's screwdriver, a toy screwdriver, and a bunch of tape. Like, I Jimmy Neutroned the worst thing the world's ever seen to help me click when I went to take a shit while on my thieving grind. The thing is about... I'm getting kind of sidetracked on this. This dude doesn't even work as an auto-clicker because when it came to thieving, I'd still have to come back and manually go up to click the coin pouch. So it was really only there for literally maybe a minute while I was away to go to the bathroom, and it still couldn't even fully auto-click on its own and be self-sufficient because I'd have to come in and manually human input clicking the coin pouch. It was still the dumbest ban in RuneScape history. So I've been in some dumb controversy. But what happened yesterday blew my mind because I actually just could have never even imagined it would be an issue in the first place. I posted a compilation video of my entire Elden Ring DLC playthrough of my fist-only build, where I would only be using fist-based weapons, giving them the power of the good old knuckle sandwich, the 1-2, the Law and Order. No summons, just good old-fashioned meat. And I finished the DLC, I really enjoyed it, and posted a long highlight of how the whole run went. And I was really happy with how the run went, and I thought the video was a fucking banger. But I made the mistake of titling the video, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is Easy. I thought the title was pretty obviously sarcastic, and it's actually a title I've used frequently throughout my entire time on YouTube. Here's just a quick screenshot of just a batch of videos I called Blank is an Easy Game or Blank is Easy. And to those of you that have been eating your carrots with that sharp eyesight, you might notice I actually titled the Elden Ring video down there the same thing. Elden Ring is an easy game. And it wasn't controversial back then, but because the DLC's become a hot button issue over the difficulty of it, people took it as me insulting them by calling it easy. So it became a pretty big talking point on a few Twitter threads as well as a bit on Reddit about how much of an asshole I was for calling the video Elden Ring DLC is easy. Don't worry, I've been successfully bullied into renaming it Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is hard. The re-education here has been successful. I've been programmed to now know that sarcasm will never work in a video title, even in something as insignificant as a video game subject here, about the difficulty of it. Like, if you watch the video, there's multiple times I talk about it being difficult
but still fun. And it took me 66 tries to kill the final boss. It took me 3 hours. It's not exactly like I was trying to hide that fact or anything. It took a while. It wasn't easy. I thought it was pretty obvious, if anyone even bothered to sit down and watch any moments of the video itself. But perhaps that's an unrealistic expectation. People don't need to actually watch the thing they're getting mad about, I guess. I truly never thought this would be controversial, because I've used that title for so many videos in the past without issue. But the big 2024 is presenting new problems out of thin air, I guess, here. I'm gonna be totally honest here, sports fans, I don't get it. I don't know what there is to be fuming about. Let's say I truly did find the DLC to be easy. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? If I find it easy and you find it super hard, why is that still cause for anger? It's not some kind of personal attack against you or anything. It's truly just not a big deal if we disagree on the difficulty of something. Now, in this case, we agree that it's hard. So, like, it's actually just over nothing just because you couldn't be bothered to watch the video and got mad about the silly title. A title, again, that I have used actually probably 30, 40 times without it ever being an issue. Until now. Until the Elden Ring DLC was the one that had this title slapped on it. I still think it's a pretty trivial thing to get mad about, but I'm not here to, like, rant about it for a super long time to try and change your mind on it. I'm not trying to fucking, like, jack into your brain and start moving levers around to make you feel like it, you know, wasn't a big deal. If it made you upset, then I apologize for it. It truly was just a sarcastic title. Like, again, I thought that was pretty clear in the actual content of the video itself. And again, it's a title I've used so many times without issue. I could have never possibly predicted fucking Nostradamus. Baba Vanga couldn't have predicted that it would be an issue this time. At least in my eyes, I don't think it would be, because I've used it so many times. For many other hard games, mind you. So yeah, I don't think the Elden Ring DLC is easy. I find it difficult. Let's set the record straight. I really enjoyed the challenge. I had a great time with it. To date, that final boss in the DLC is the hardest in any game I've ever played. It took me 66 tries and a little over 3 hours, but beating that final boss is one of the best feelings I've had in gaming in quite some time, especially because I did it with Old Faithful right here. Gave him the Why I Oughta special. So it felt great to finally triumph over that final boss. I do have a couple of complaints about the final boss. I'm not going to get into spoilers, so don't worry, I'm going to talk broadly here. In Phase 2 of the final boss, there is a legitimate issue that needs to be fixed with the visual clutter. The final boss uses attacks that are actually fucking blinding, like Piccolo casting a solar flare. Every couple of attacks that the final boss has will inevitably spawn very, very bright particle effects that make it impossible to see what's even happening around you or even in front of you. So they end up masking a lot of the boss's moves so you can't even see some of them coming, which I am confident was not on purpose. I don't think that was the design philosophy, to be casting an infinite fucking smoke screen so you can't see the boss. It's just too bright. I really think that's something they'd need to, like, tone down the brightness without necessarily nerfing the moveset, because I actually think the moveset's just fine. The hitboxes are really tight, actually, on the final boss, and I had tons of attempts to experience the hitboxes. I don't have any problems with the hitboxes themselves. It's just so bright and so much clutter that it makes it almost impossible sometimes to see what move is being thrown at you. Coupled with the fact that the boss has really long, puffy hair, it's oftentimes you can't react to something because you can't see it. Between the visual clutter of the particle effects from some of the attacks and the boss's hair itself, sometimes you actually will just get hit by a bullshit blaster that you never saw because the hair was in your fucking face, as well as all these lights that are flashing like you just walked into an EDM rave. It's like that. I don't think that's on purpose. So I think that is something that they need to legitimately address. And I think it's the reason why a lot of people are getting kind of hung up on Phase 2 of that boss, because I feel like if you could see it better, you could learn the patterns a lot better and be more efficient at dodging. But because sometimes you can't see it at all, there's not a whole lot of progress you make with the dodge timings. So I do want to put that out there. even though I really enjoyed beating the final boss, it was very frustrating and quite a big headache when I would die, like have my cheek spread by something I actually couldn't see under any circumstances because of too much clutter and too much hair. Goofball must have just got their hair done right before the fight, and goodness gracious, the buff that gave to the boss cannot be understated. So yeah, hair, visual clutter, huge complaints about the final boss from me. Other than that, though, I really did enjoy the DLC. There, like I mentioned in the last video, talking about the DLC, there are a few bosses and more, since I finished the game, that I recognized have janky hitboxes. By far, the worst is Commander Gaius. Commander Gaius has an unforgivably terrible hitbox on the hog that he rides. Hog Rider is by far the worst boss in this game. Like, I'm not just talking about DLC. I think Commander Gaius is the worst boss in all of Elden Ring. That boss just super sucks. Like, the hitbox is broken, actually broken. So, yeah. There definitely is some complaints that I have with the DLC, but overall, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm sorry for the title of the Shadow of the Erdtree video. I wasn't trying to make anyone feel bad. To me, I thought it was just harmless silliness, and I'd used it so many times in the past, it didn't register that it could be an issue. So I guess going forward, I just won't call things easy in the title anymore. But anyway, just want to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah. I couldn't decide whether or not to make this video, so I did what I always do when I'm conflicted on a topic. I ate a peanut butter and honey sandwich. There's something about that just unlocks the full capacity of the human brain. It's like that pill from Limitless. So after my post-sandwich clarity, I did decide that this is worth talking about because I think there is a lesson to be learned here. Yesterday I posted this video, and it's me talking about a YouTuber event that was hosted where it was a roast battle, but there was no preparation, everyone was a stranger. I'm also pretty sure it was everyone's first time on stage, so it just became this giant, unhinged, festering petri dish of concentrated cringe. And I was joking about it and talking about it. And today, the Frankenstein behind this monster, Def Noodles, the YouTuber who ran the event, responded to me and my take on it. And this is why I was so back and forth on whether or not to make this video, because I don't want this to be construed as some kind of personal attack or anything personal. Like I said when talking about the event, I don't really know Def Noodles. I don't hate him. I've only seen a couple of things on Twitter where he said or did some bad shit that people were dunking on him for, and I've seen this roast. That's my whole exposure to Def Noodles, so I don't have strong opinions on him. I was making jokes about the event as well as his set, but I don't know the guy very well. So I'm not just going to be insulting him or anything like that. This is going to be me talking about his response video, which I think is a very important lesson in how not to handle controversy.
Today's video is a little bit different than usual. I think it's about time that I address the new allegations against me. It feels like it's only been a few days since I've had to make one of these videos addressing allegations, and yet here we are once again addressing more allegations. I mean,
this is such a weird way of starting the video because I didn't make any allegations against him. I made jokes about the event and talked about it. The closest thing that came to an accusation from me, I guess, is when I compared the roast battle to an act of terrorism. Which, I think there's a good argument to be made there. This was so fucking bad. Obviously, I'm just goofing around. It's just such a weird way of framing this video because I didn't make any allegations against him. I also don't understand why he titled the video an apology to Moist Critical. He doesn't owe anyone an apology, least of all me. I fucking loved it. I thought it was delightful. But at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. He put on an event and it didn't go over super well with the majority of people, and that's fine.
I just can't help myself. I can't keep my dick in my pants when it comes to creating problems and destroying my career. I just need to fuck it. My career. I need to fuck it up. I
think it's important to note that this entire 10-minute video is sarcastic. The entire 10 minutes is spent in full sarcastic monologue like it's a high school drama club exercise. And I really don't see why he would think that's a good idea. And he started this video by saying this isn't the normal piece of content he makes, but it really has become the normal piece of content he makes. This is the third video in the last 8 days he's made talking about drama and like revolving around himself, like the controversy on Twitter or whatever. He's made 3 videos talking about it, and his audience is tired of it. You can see it in the comments section with so many of his fans just asking him to please stop doing this. And in this short section where he talks about how he can't help but fuck up his career, there is a level of truth to that, and I think there's a level of self-awareness there as well. When he posted this video, he lost 3,000 subscribers over the course of 6 hours because, again, his fan base didn't sign up to hear him throw these, like, self-pity parties here. This isn't the content that they want, and he keeps talking about it over and over and over again. And he's making a big deal out of these things, but, like, I don't know the other drama, but this is not an issue. You know, you put on an event, which is more than a lot of people will do, so you should be proud of that, and it just didn't go over super well, right? That's not a crime. You know, no one's saying that you should be thrown in the fucking slammer for it or anything like that. People were just laughing about it. The main takeaway here is impulsively making a video while emotional. And it's something I've done before too. Every YouTuber's made a video they regret, obviously. And I think that's what he's going through at the moment, where he's impulsively responding to things that are kind of non-issues, like me laughing at the roast, or people's response to the roast, or whatever the fuck is going on Twitter, and making a video about it, which is only further hurting him. Which it's like a cycle. And there just has to be this point where you say, like, okay, let me just step back from Twitter, which is the best thing you can ever do, you know, and I'll just, you know, handle it privately, as opposed to making everything a public spectacle, you know. There was drama on Twitter, and I'm just going to sit on it myself. I don't need to make a video talking about it, because if I do, people aren't going to want to hear it, and they might not like it.
I did indeed get banned on Twitch after a gay comedian made a gay joke, and I got massive backlash for it on Twitter as a result.
This part's a little disingenuous because he seems to believe he got banned because of people mass reporting him and having a big backlash about it. But that's not really the case. What happened is Def Noodles was roasting against another comedian, and she just randomly shouted a slur for no reason. There wasn't like a joke leading up to it, there wasn't like a punchline or any context to it, she just shouted a slur, which is against Twitch's rules, so whether or not people made a big fuss about it on Twitter wouldn't have mattered. He was going to get banned for that.
Greatest crime that I committed was to have caused the great moist critical to cringe. I have unfortunately committed the most heinous sin a YouTuber can commit in their careers.
This is again pretty disingenuous because I don't cringe. Sometimes my eyes just get itchy during very uncomfortable moments and I'll have to, you know, stop and scratch them occasionally, but I'm just not built to cringe. I don't have that gene.
After hearing out the entire internet and realizing that I committed the most heinous crime against humanity by putting on a show in my office and broadcasting it for free for anyone to see, the only way I could see this situation was with remorse. I am deeply apologetic for anyone out there who was traumatized by the free will to click on a video and watch it.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the tone for the whole video, basically, where it's, you had the free will, I'm sorry I provided you with free entertainment, man, how douchey of me to put on a free event on my own time to have some fun, I'm so sorry. Like that kind of thing. Why? Why make this sarcastic, salty video about it? No one's mad at you for putting on the event. I don't see anyone upset. Like, people had a great time laughing at it. Granted, that wasn't the effect you intended it to have, but even still, as a comedian, being able to roll with the punches is super important, but this is the opposite of rolling with the punches. This is like sarcastically punching back. I don't see why. The only people that would have any right to be upset with the event are the people that paid for it, and I haven't seen any of them complain, and from what you said in this video, they had a great time, so overall, it was successful. So then why be mad? Why make yet another video rolling around in your own personal drama and posting it on your channel? That is self-destructive. That is a downward spiral. Your audience doesn't want to keep seeing you do this. I don't want to see you making videos like this because it's just not a good look.
I truly wish we lived in a dictatorial society so government officials could just rush into my building mid-show and have me immediately sent to the gulags for even attempting to do something of the sort. That is not the enough punishment for me. Honestly, I think the only appropriate response to the video that I chose to freely publish on the internet is death. I should go educate myself at the end of the barrel of a loaded shotgun. After all, the taste of bullets is the only thing that can truly educate a person to never commit a crime ever again.
Hearing things like this is just deeply concerning,
And I totally understand why his audience is really trying their best to get through to him that these kind of videos are alarming and very much driving them away from him and his content. It's just disturbing to hear these kind of extreme statements, and I truly hope that this is just part of his sarcastic persona that he's putting on for the video. Like, maybe it's some kind of parody, but I haven't seen anyone say anything even close to this. All people are saying is, man, that was pretty cringy. Which he himself says on stage, as well as the other people on stage also point out that it was cringy. So I don't know why he's blowing it up like this with statements like that. I really do hope it's just part of this over-the-top sarcastic persona that he's portraying here.
Fully address the situation with Great Moist Critical. Mr. Moist. Anyway, Mr. Moist Critical, I thank you for your profound observations. I thank you for showing me the light. I will once again produce a super roast battle 2 weeks from now so we can wrong every right that was left unturned.
Yeah, he concludes the video by announcing a second roast is right around the corner, which I'm pretty hype about. I'm marking the calendar. But yeah, I think the announcement could have been better saved for a piece of content that was more, not this. This is just a very long, sarcastic drama video that his audience doesn't want to keep seeing, and a lot of people will be turned off by. I, again, am not super familiar with Def Noodles, but I really am wishing him the best here because this doesn't seem like a healthy way of combating drama or controversy. So, yeah, that's really about it. See ya.